Hello traders, welcome to another trading week. I remain Forex Grandmaster and I hope you guys had a very lovely week last week. And also for those that joined the training, we could just concluded our training yesterday where I exposed you guys to a lot of different different techniques in trading, and then we're able to bring up and put up all the different strategies that we have learned together to build a trading system. And I explained to you how I do look out for all those trading opportunities that I do send to you guys as signals, how I get the entry, and a lot of vital information out there. So the successful training session with you guys, despite the fact that there were a lot of internet connection problem, but we'll still try our best to make it happen. And I'm sure that right now you guys have already understood what is very, very vital in trading. What's very vital in trading is risk management, which is what I'm going to also throw a little more light to you guys. I remember I showed you guys here where you need to quantify your risk at any particular point in time. If you are trading your personal account, make sure you don't risk more than 1% per trade. But if you are trading proper account, you want to limit that further to 0.25, 0.35% per trade, because you are very much limited in terms of how much leverage you have. And then if you are following the signal calls, you would understand or realize that it is not the outcome of each trade that matters the most. What matters the most is the risk reward. That is the risk management part of trading, such that one particular trade or win at any particular point in time can take care of most of all the series of losses that you may have. So I'm tempted to switch away from the net returns recording or giving of trade signals to number of pips, as in pips, because I understand that some traders don't have money management, risk management tool that will help them quantify their position size for each trade for them to be able to be trading successfully. So maybe I'll do a mixture of it, but ultimately, for me, what matters the most is how much you're able to get trading, how much returns you are getting, not necessarily the amount of pips. And I also showed you guys that it will focus much more on the risk to reward ratio. Even if you don't have very good win rates, you are still going to be making good profits trading the market. So very, very fast right away, let's go to what we have for the period. I'm looking at strengths on Japanese yen, and then I'm also looking at maybe some strength on the Canadian dollar. I'm not really sure about the Swiss francs going still remaining bullish, although all this while it has been bullish. And so for me, this is going to be bullish to some extent, but after some time, one needs to watch it. And then the New Zealand seems to have a bullish continuation structure within it. For euro, we have been bullish all this while, and then it's most likely going to be turning bearish for some pullbacks. And the USD has been bearish all this while, and there's every tendency that it should continue the bearish trend. And then for pounds too doesn't have any positive support for in terms of the macroeconomics indicators, doesn't support any bullish for now. And then we are looking at odd weakness continue to be weak. And so these are all the buyers that we're going to be looking at trading. And then we are going to quickly go to the charts and see how those play. I'll try best possible to make this video short so that you don't have to watch too much long video for analysis. So starting with the USD has been weak all this while and is still in a downward trend, which was what we were able to discover right starting from the weekly time frame to the daily time frame. And now the only 4 hours, it seems to be around the support zone, and then a consolidation around here will give us further expected weakness for this pair, for this currency. But we need to watch it. I'll be watching it closely to see if it breaks above this zone or not. So if it will still stay within this zone, then she expects the continuation of that bearish for the currency. For pounds has been weak all this while, so it just made a little retracement. As that now we should expect much more continuation of weakness for pounds. And then for Japanese yen is expected to be strong, having gotten back to the initial top to have a double top, and then any movements downwards in this particular manner should be giving us the strength that we expect. And then for euro, we are expecting much more bearish movement on this pair. It has been strong all the while, but currently it has gotten to an overextended market condition on the higher time frame, and so some kind of pullback is expected. Price is currently forming a diagonal structure that most likely will come to retest this zone. Then for CAD seems to break out from a minor resistance line that is acting as a support right now, and most likely we may have it going all the way back up to that level. So for me, I will be expecting some strength on CAD. And then on Swiss francs, just like I said, Swiss francs has been bullish all this while. It got to a point where it's from the double top on the daily time frame, and the weekly time frame too. It has been on a rising. It has been rising significantly all this while, and then we are just forming that diagonal structure on the higher time frame. And then I feel that from this point onwards, we may most likely be experiencing some pullbacks. And so that pullback, I don't know if it is time for it yet, but for me, I'll be expecting some weakness a little on the Swiss francs, and then maybe followed by strength, or strength a little around this point, then followed by weakness. So it's going to be mixed for the Swiss francs, and one we need to watch and be very careful about it. Then for the Australian dollar seems to be trending in a descending triangle right now, and so one will expect price to come further to retest this zone. It has not been moving that much all this while, but in the coming week, if there's any fundamental that doesn't support the strength of Australian dollar, then you should expect it to go significantly bearish. And then for New Zealand, last but not the least, for New Zealand, it seems to be making some of a correction within a flag setup, and then there's a possibility that if it fails to break this point, we should expect price to go higher to that point. So for all the buyers that have been analyzed, this is what I currently have right now. I should expect Japanese yen, CAD, Swiss francs, and New Zealand to be bullish, and then Euro, USD, GDP, and Australian to be bearish. Although Swiss francs might most likely, be neutral at some point. So based on that, I'm expecting these are my expectation for the week. That's US dollar, Japanese yen selling, US dollar CAD selling, Swiss francs selling, Euro USD buying, EURJPY selling, Euro AUD buy, Euro New Zealand sell, Euro CAD sell, EURJPY buy, pounds sell, yen, pounds sell. Pounds basically are going to be looking for sell. And then for Australian dollar, if US dollars become stronger at any time, then we want to look at selling that. And then for Australian Japanese yen is supposed to be strong. So we're looking for selling that. Of CAD is supposed to be stronger than odds, so we're looking at selling it. The New Zealand USD, if USD becomes stronger at any time, we look for sell. But if that doesn't happen, we are going to be looking for buy on the New Zealand USD. Swiss francs, yen, these are most likely going to be two strong pairs. So we are only going to be looking for sell on Swiss francs if Swiss franc yen, if Swiss franc become weak or neutral. But yen is supposed to be, strong generally. So CAD yen to sell. Then gold, since we're expecting some weaknesses on gold, on USD, then most likely gold may rally. And then since we're expecting weakness on USD, we are going to be looking for to selling US 30 and NASDAQ. And then oil still remains in a bearish structure. So we're going to be looking at all of this very, very fast. So let's go to our chart. For starting with US dollar Japanese yen, I'll be looking forward to selling this pair. I'll be looking forward to selling that pair around here, most likely around here. Looking forward to selling it around here. And then the target is most likely going to be to this point right here. Let me off this. So the target is most likely going to be to this point around here. Yeah, that's the overall target. But then we are going to be in and out of the trade at some point where we get good, clear entry for our trade. So for US dollar Japanese yen, we should be looking forward to selling it. But it's not going to be immediate. We want to be able to get some retest of this zone before looking for that sell. Then the next one there is US dollar CAD. For US dollar CAD, we're expecting price to continue bearish trend. And the price have been moving in this descending channel, and you expect much more movement to the downside. And I feel that we may most likely want to come to retest this monthly support zone right here. So we'll be looking forward to selling US dollar CAD at some point, but it will make much more sense if it can come to the monthly pivot zone, more like a fake out for some of those that want to be looking for a buy, breakouts of structure for buy. So if price gets here and then starts consolidating, then we may most likely look for our sell all the way down to that zone. So the next one there should be US dollar Swiss francs. For dollar Swiss, we should be looking forward to selling it. Should be looking forward to selling it at a point. Let me take out this at a point, and the overall structure right here on the weekly time frame. Let me see if we have got into a very interesting price level. Going to be adding the 127.2, 1.272 to see if we have got into that price zone yet. So we have passed the 127.2. Most likely you'll be heading to the 161.8, which is going to be somewhere around here. So that makes much more sense for us to know where to end our sales structure. And so for here on the daily time frame, let's see what we have here. So on the daily time frame, the 161.8 also confluences with the lines that we have drawn. So should be expecting price to get to somewhere around here for our sell trade as a target. And then for the entry, we are going to be getting the entry on the lower time frame. But for the entry, if price is able to get to sell around this zone, then we will be looking forward to it. Will be a very good point for us to be able to sell it. So I'll be looking forward to having a good reaction for price around that spot for us to be able to sell it. And then the next one should be EURUSD. So for EURUSD, you should be looking forward to buying it because Euro seems to be much more stronger in terms of the fundamental than USD. So for EURUSD, I gave a signal on Friday, but price didn't really move well. So there are two possibilities right now. So the first possibility is price coming all the way down here, where we can look for our buy. And then the second possibility is price dancing around this zone and refusing to break it. So if price refuses to break this point, then we should be looking forward to that breakout that is going to be taking us to our target level. Let's see where we may most likely get the target. Well, I'm not sure that price is going to be going all the way right now to that point, but on the interim, let's see the price level that we have on the daily time frame. Price currently dancing around the 127.2, so you should expect price possibly getting to that feeble level of 161.8. So if we're going to be taking our trade, we want to be getting out somewhere around this point. So with that, it should give us something around maybe about 140 pips roughly. But we are definitely going to be going in and out at some point if we get good entry. So as you can see, it confluences almost around the same area where we have the monthly resistance 1. So the next one right there is euro yen, which we're going to be looking for a sell for euro yen. Let's start from the daily time frame. If yen becomes very, very strong, you want to expect some pullback for this pair. Let's see the feeble level for that spot. I think that should be the 78.6%. So maybe we are going to be having the Gatling pattern around there, because for the Gatling pattern, we have the 61.8 and then price getting at the 78.6. So I'm looking at roughly, an harmonic pattern that may most likely give us a pullback before we then decide whether we want to continue going up further or not. So for me, I'm expecting some pullback at the current price right now, where price is for this pair. So most likely, maybe we are going to be having that price within the reversal structure that we can see. So I think that for the time being, we may have price moving in this manner, coming all the way to retest this zone and then flushing down. So so there are two possibilities right now. The first possibility is that if price doesn't break above this point and then starts dancing around here in this manner, then we want to look for a sell that will take us, that will flush it down, especially when our currency strength meter, it gives us that yen is stronger than euro. So if we will give us that yen is stronger than euro, then we're going to be looking for that sell. But if at any particular point in time, euro still becomes stronger than yen, then we are going to be looking for that sell around this spot. The next one should be EURUSD. For EURUSD, that's going to be weak and weak, but I feel that euro is going to be stronger than odd at some point, because the structure of odd seems to be quite much more weak. But we should expect this to happen, where price come down to retest this zone, and then after that we can look for that buy setup. So having weak and weak, so is most likely going to be ranging at this point, which is on 4 hours time frame. So for me, I'll be looking for a sell around here. That sell should give roughly around 100 pips, or even around 140 something. Most likely, there's a possibility that it just spike all the way down to retest the monthly pivots, and then from there we can now start looking for buying it up all the way to the monthly resistance level. So the next one right there is Euro New Zealand. For Euro New Zealand, we should be looking for a sell, especially if New Zealand becomes stronger than Euro at any point. So for me, I'll be looking forward to selling this pair since like it formed a double top around here on the lower time frame. So we're just going to be in a small tight zone for this week, and then after that we can continue looking for the bullish continuation setup. So for me, this looks more like a sell opportunity around here. Sell opportunity around here, but it will make much more sense if we are going to get into the trade when New Zealand becomes very, very strong. But if that doesn't happen, I'll be careful not to even touch that at all. EURUSD. For EURUSD, we should be looking forward to selling EURUSD because fundamentally, CAD seems to be kind of strong at this period than euro. So let's see if we have anything on the weekly time frame. Price seems to be at a major resistance level, and maybe it has finished forming that diagonal structure. Let's see how it looks like on the lower time frame. So yeah, kind of very clear right here. So we want to be looking for a sell opportunity around the spot for this pair. A sell opportunity around this spot for this pair, maybe somewhere around this zone, or if price start dancing around here, if price start dancing around, that's his price coming and then start dancing around here, then we want to look out for the sell that will take us all the way down to that point. But in the overall, we should be looking for sell on EURUSD, especially when the CSM gives a very strong card build up. The next one there should be Euro Pounds. For Euro Pounds, bullish structure is what we should be looking out for, because pounds most likely going to be will continue weakness. And so on the daily time frame, that may most likely be the point where price shouldn't go below. So we want to look at this where price coming all the way down up here and then trading in that manner before eventually then break out at some point. But it makes good sense to be looking for a buy opportunity on Euro Pounds. For Pounds USD sell structure, the reason for that sell structure is because even though they are most likely going to be weak at some point, but the fundamental that supports pounds seems to have dropped significantly over the past week, and so you're expecting some pullback on pounds for some time. So at any time that we have the USD being strong, then we should be looking for selling this pair, maybe somewhere around the spots, especially if it coincides with the weekly time frame. Then we'll be looking forward to with the weekly pivots. Then we should be looking forward to selling it at some point. But I'll be looking forward to selling it around this zone. The next one is pound yen. It's going to be a sell structure. Pound yen sell structure on weekly time frame. We have price around the spots and around here. So on the weekly time frame, on the daily time frame, well, maybe it's not yet ripe for a proper sell. But I'll be much more interested if price can get to this point first before selling. If price can get here, then it will make much more sense for a sell. To make much more sense for a sell. So, but if that doesn't happen, then I should be looking forward to some kind of consolidation around here, then taking us all the way down. But this is a very dicey one. I think I'll prefer to go with pounds USD than the pounds yen, unless that structure is clear. At any particular point in time, when GBP is very, very weak, and then we have, Japanese yen being stronger, then I can look at trading that. Pounds AUD, both weak and weak. So for me, I'll be staying out of this trade. It's even in the middle of trade, the middle of price movement right now. So which is understandable right now. But if I'm going to be having option to choose between sell or buy, I'll be going with a sell, because as it is right now, we have made a down push, and then we are currently in a pushback, which is most likely going to be another down push. Let's say the feeble level, about 50%. So if price can get to the if price can get to the 61.8%, then it will make much more sense. So I'll be very much more interested in selling it at that point. The next one there is pounds New Zealand. For pounds New Zealand, where is this? For pounds New Zealand, I think this is trying to hang up. Let me see why. So for pound New Zealand, we should be looking forward to selling this pair if New Zealand becomes strong as expected. So just almost the same structure that we have on GDP AUD is what we have on GDP New Zealand. So if you are trading GDP New Zealand, you want to avoid trading GDP AUD and vice versa. So for me, if price retraces back to this point, I'll be looking forward to selling it from there. So this clearly is sell when GDP continues weakness. Pounds Swiss francs. So for pounds Swiss francs, I was expecting bullish trend on this pair at some point, but that never happened. And so the structure still remains bearish right now, still remain bearish. And so so what it means is that if you want to get in, let's see if we can wait for some kind of pullback to happen, because price has clearly come all the way down. So you don't want to be in a trade when it wants to do that pullback. So if price push back up to this point, then you can start looking forward to taking that sell, but we must always wait for that pushback. So I'll be expecting a sell around the retest of the monthly pivot point. But it's a bearish trend, but we want to wait for the pullback first. Then the next one there, pounds CAD. For pounds CAD, we should be looking forward to selling it. The sell has already begun right there. So it has made this. It's expected to correct that movement, even if it wants to continue. I think this should be the case. So even if it wants to continue bearish, it's expected to have some pullback at some point. So you want to wait for that pullback first before getting in. So on the 4 hours time frame, if we have some kind of pullback, then we can look forward to that sell to this point. which is most likely going to be giving about 200 pips or 300 pips in total, roughly around that. But you want to have some kind of sideways correction pattern forming here before you then take that sell. So the next one there is AUD USD. For AUD USD, I think USD at some point might be stronger than Australian dollar, especially given that we are in this sideways correction pattern, not like a flag setup, prices correcting within that structure. So I'm expecting price to give a proper sell around here. So when that happens, then we'll be looking forward to selling it. So if price does this, then it should make a very good opportunity for us to sell it at that point. And the next one there is AUD JPY. For AUD JPY, we'll be looking for sell, especially expecting yen to be strong at some point. And so the structure here remains very tight, especially within this right here. It means very, very tight. So but the sell opportunity has begun. We are expecting some kind of correction. So if price corrects, then we want to sell it up to this point. But I've been trying to avoid AUD JPY all this while because it's not really moving well. As you can see, for about 2 weeks now, it has just been, going up and down within almost the same area. So maybe it is getting to some time where yen will be strong and then we can have that flush down. So the next one there, AudCAD. For AudCAD, sell structure there. So sell structure should be seen somewhere around here. So on the 4 hours time frame, I'm totally, not even trading this pair at all. So for me, we are looking for sell, but it's a pair that doesn't give much profit. So I usually avoid it altogether. New Zealand USD. For New Zealand USD, we should be expecting some bullish continuation if New Zealand becomes strong at some point and yen and USD becomes weak. If that happens, then we should be looking for that sell. So if that happens, we should be looking for that sell. We should be looking for that buy, but right now, it has not gotten to a point where I'm very comfortable for the buy. Let me try to go to the lower time frame. On the lower time frame, so this is where I'll be very comfortable at buying it from. So if price come all the way to this point, VIM, around this point, then I'll be looking forward to buying it from there. So yes, there's a sell structure, there's a buy structure, but that buy structure will be completed when price gets to this spot. When price gets to that spot, then we should be looking forward to buying it from there. Then Swiss yen. For Swiss yen, strong and strong. So one wants to be very careful for this pair. But Swiss francs has been strong all this while. So there's every tendency that it may be weak at some point and then yen becoming strong. So most of all this pair right now are giving some kind of diagonal structure around the extreme market area. So this should happen on this pair. This should happen, and then maybe some pullback, and then come all the way down to this point. So for Swiss yen, I'll be expecting a sell around that spot, a sell around here, especially when market opens, to see if we can get in sharply. And CAD yen. For CAD yen, we should be looking forward to being careful, so to say, basically being careful, because yen may be strong at some point, CAD may be strong at some point. So you have two strong peers competing with themselves. So you want to be very careful trading it. But overall, it seems to me that maybe CAD can have the movement of the period. So because we have this, and then let's expect that price will move some kind of sideways, being that we have two strong pairs, and then after that we should be looking forward to buying it. So for me, I'll be much more interested in buying this around. If it gives a pullback, if it gets here and then do a pullback, then I'll be looking forward to buying it around this spot. Then the next one there is gold. So for gold, we should be looking forward to buying it, especially if USD become weak at any particular point in time. And I think we are getting to see her formation already right here. So if price fails to break below this point, then we should be looking forward to buying it. So we're looking forward to buying gold around here, which is most likely going to be taking us all the way to that spot, all the way to this spot, and then maybe after some time all the way to this spot. But we don't know yet whether price will even get here. But the immediate move right now is price coming down here. If we reject this area, then we should be looking for that buy opportunity to that spot. And then for the US 30 and NASDAQ, they usually have this almost the same structure. We should be looking forward to selling it. US dollars 30, we should be looking forward to selling that pair, but after price had gotten to a key, after price had gotten to a key level and complete the reversal structure. Let's see what we have on the higher time frame. On the higher time frame, I think price is currently around a very key resistance zone, which we most likely want to retest. And so we most likely first have price pushing up all the way within that structure before that sell starts. So for US 30, maybe some little retracement and then price coming all the way to this spot. So I'll be drawing this around here. We expect price to get to for a proper sell. But for those that want to be in a buy position, then we should be looking forward to buying it if price retest that zone. And then US 30 or NASDAQ should have a very similar structure. US 30 or NASDAQ should have a very similar structure. Let's see what we have there for US 30. So for US 30, on the weekly time frame, we seems to be possibly breaking out a little above that initial high. And then, so for US 30, I'm not going to be interested in making anything right now. But if we are going to be looking at doing anything, you want to possibly expect price to push up the more, and then later on having a proper sell that will even flush all the way down to around this spot. So this remains bullish for the time being, meaning that it has broken the initial high. So there's a tendency that it will just come to retest it and then go all the way before it eventually then starts turning. But for me, I'm not going to want to trade that at all. So I think that should be the end of all the different analysis. So if you find this video very instrumental, you want to give a thumbs up, like and share. And then if you want to be part of the group of the channel, I usually post updates and trade signals in the channel. The link description will be part of this video description at the bottom of this video. So wishing you guys a very successful trading week, and then I'll see you guys next week. Bye for now.